A lot of real estate content on social media is completely misleading. Let's take a look at one that I think is decent. We're just going to look at the property itself. We don't know where it is, if it's close to transportation, jobs, landlord friendly, all that stuff. We don't know, but just to look at the numbers. So this is a 10-unit property for $1 million. Already, people in cities like Toronto or New York, they'll be like, that's impossible. You're not going to find that. Yeah, that's true. You're not going to find that in a primary market. You're going to find this probably in a tertiary market. Let's say it rents for $10,000 a month or $120,000 a year. So looking at that, that is a 12% gross rental margin. Each room rents for $1,000 a month. It's not great, but it's realistic, quote unquote. Quote, let's say you spend $54,000 on these expenses, taxes, insurance, utilities. I mean, they seem to be typical. $120,000 minus 54 is going to be $66,000. That is your net operating income. This is reasonable considering the 50% rule, which means that 50% of your rent will go to pay for something listed in the previous post. $120,000, 50% rule, you should be spending roughly $60,000. This is around there. Just like they say below, quote, your cash flow before financing, net operating income, is $66,000 a year. The math is correct, and it is a decent property if it shows this, but I wouldn't invest in that, but I'll mention that later. The first thing I want to mention is that it is very difficult to find a property like this. So a lot of people get into real estate investing, and they're like, well, if the numbers work, then it's great. The challenge when investing in real estate is finding the deal. Most people don't realize that. They don't know that you have to screen through 1,000 properties in order to find one that has good numbers. Most mom and pop landlords just buy anything. The numbers suck. They just buy it because it's next door or a few blocks away. Those are typically terrible. That's why real estate investing does not work for the vast majority of people. Because you actually have to spend 99% of your time finding the deal in a tertiary market with jobs, transportation, healthcare. Now, going back to why I would not invest in something like this, I always compare things to a passive low-fee index ETF. So knowing that for a long period of time, something like the S&P 500 will return roughly 9 to 10% a year. This is a profit of $66,000 a year on $1 million spent, so it's 6.6% return. If you add in appreciation of the property of 2 to 3% or the rate of inflation, you're getting roughly similar. I am not going to deal with more work, capital expenditures, vacancies, tenants, evictions on rental real estate that will give me a return that is similar to a low-fee index ETF. If I'm going to invest in something outside of the stock market, I'm going to need at least 4 or more % greater return for the extra risk and the work. The net operating income needs to be much higher, say closer to $90,000 or $100,000 a year. So if you added inflation or appreciation, you get something around 13 or 14% a year. That makes it more interesting than investing in a low-fee index ETF. So in order to have something that produces $100,000 a year in net operating income, it needs to have gross rents of closer to $20,000 a month. Otherwise, I'm investing something that has a good chance of growing slower, involving more work, and taking up more time. Learn the lessons about real estate that your friends and family don't know. Download my free newsletter linked off the bio. Good luck. Take care.